we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for coming. I was just talking with Kim Warren from the United Way this morning. We started hosting Senior Decision Day in 2017 so that we could recognize all the choices that seniors make, whether they're going on to college, starting a registered apprenticeship, joining the military. And we've asked them to RSVP, and there were days where we filled the Commons and had to have 3 different sessions because we had so many students participate. And I'm hoping this is the year that we outgrow the library. So thank you for coming and making that happen. We're going to recognize all the students that are present, and we always like to start this ceremony by bringing back an alumni from Muscatine High School to have them share with the students a little bit about their high school experience and how they ended up where they are now. And so today, from Skinny's Barbecue, we have Cord Kleist. Right. And Cord graduated in 2013, and I kind of dug around a little bit in his transcript. He was one of the last students that got to take PE via personal fitness at the YMCA, and he got an A. Good job. And while he was in high school, he also participated in student council and basketball, and I'll turn it over to Cord.
Congratulations to everybody. 13 years in school is a long time, so it's something to be proud of. To be sitting here is definitely something to be more proud of, to make a decision for the next step. Picture on the left's a little embarrassing, but I posted that because I was never the most talented, but I cared the most, and I think that's what has led me to where I am. My senior year of high school, my dad and I opened a restaurant called Boonies on the Avenue. I did not go to college, so my decision was to open a restaurant with my dad. No idea what I was in for, just like being here today, speaking, obviously. Hard work was a must, and that has led me a long ways in the business, the success of Boonies on the Avenue, and then also at the age of 24 years old, I was able to open my own restaurant called Skinny's Barbecue, downtown Muscatine. With that, I had people that believed in me, that made it possible. My landlord believed in me, the bank believed in me, and those were all because I think I like little things were being friendly to people, smiling to them, making an impression is one of my biggest things. There's a lot of teachers that I didn't have as a student, but like come to the restaurant and I know their name, they know me. People are like, oh, you had Mrs. Schroeder? Like, no, I didn't, but how do you know her? In the hallway, I always talked to her. It was just a friendly person. I think that goes a long ways in life. I think that's all I got for you. Probably not more than that. Thank you guys, and congratulations.
I think you did great. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to do that. So I have the students grouped by school, and hopefully we'll give everybody a chance to get like an individual photo opportunity. We're going to start with our students who have decided to attend MCC in the fall, and Anabilia Calderon Flores from MCC is going to sign with them. Okay, and then I'm going to invite Mr. Cooland up. Mr. Cooland is the senior counselor, so that he can read the names, the institution, and then the intended major of each student.
Thanks you guys for all coming. I couldn't be prouder of all of you. I mean, 4 years blew by really quick. So we'll get started. Marilyn Carlston, major, marketing management. Alexiana Alidia. Aliva. Every year. Okay. Yep. Her major is going to be criminal justice. Constel Vodio, her major will be biology.
Okay, so now we'll have Mr. Clint Christopher, the superintendent, come in and sign with the rest of our seniors. Yeah.
Dylan, come on up here. Dylan Maresca, he's going to Case Western Reserve University, and he is going to be majoring in biology pre-med. Next up is Malia Martin. She is going to Embry-Riddle University, and her major is going to be aerospace physiology. Up next will be Nathan Bovenkamp. He's going to Iowa State, and his major is going to be aerospace engineering. Next up will be Nicole Bovenkamp, who's also going to Iowa State, and her major is going to be biomedical engineering. Next up will be Nicholas Kotouche. He's going to Iowa State, and his major will be computer engineering. Next up is Tyler Mason. His major will be music education. Next up, going to Iowa State, is Brooklyn McGinnis. Her major is going to be horticulture. Next up is Gavin McLeod. His major will be music education, Iowa State. Next up is Cameron Noah, and her major will be elementary education. Next up is Avi Schroeder. Her major is going to be agriculture business. Next up is Trey Ulsis, and he is going to be going to Iowa State. Major is business. Next up is Ashley Ramser. She's going to Kirkwood Community College, and her major is going to be physical therapy assisting. Next up is Rachel Diekman. Her major at Kirkwood Community College, her major will be nursing. Next up is Caleb Carlson, going to Lipscomb University, and his major is fitness and sports science. Next up is Aubrey Bender, going to Marian University in Wisconsin, major forensic science. Anna Bodie, Iowa University, human physiology. Next up is Ileana Kangro, Iowa, major is biomedical science. Okay, next up, Stella DeLong, going to Iowa, major is business. Next up is Christina DeVries, going to Iowa, major pre-veterinarian medicine. Next up is Madeline Fisher, going to Iowa, major pre-med biology. Next up is Crystal Garcia, going to Iowa, major is nursing. Next up is Kiera Hallett, Iowa, major pre-dentistry. Next up is Madeline Hillman, her major is pharmaceutical science. Next up is Clarissa Lagunas, and her major is marketing. Next up is Mahala Martin, and her major is psychology. Next up is Ellie Mergren, her major is diagnostic medical imaging. Next up is Linda Pineda Lopez, major is business administration. Next up is Alexi Rada, major is marketing. All right, next is Kate Slavine. Her major is actual science. Next up is Lars Scholze. Major is health and human physiology. Next up is Kaylin Jebkis. Her major is industrial engineering. Next up is Sawyer Zek. His major is health and human physiology. Last but not least is Grace Zorich, and her major is English. Next up is Rajoy Stenyo, going to the University of Minnesota, major political science for pre-law. All right, next up is Annie Zillig, going to Nebraska, major pre-health. Okay, next up, Alexis Edkin, UNI, major psychology. Next up is Isabella Loeffler, going to UNI, major music education. Next up is Alexis Taylor, going to UNI. Major is music education, vocal performance. Next up, Gabriella Steele, going to the University of Oklahoma, major architecture. Next up is Braylee Seaman. She is going to Wartburg College, majoring in business. Next up is Tasia Watts. She is going to Wartburg College, major vocal performance. And then last but not least, we have Karen West going to Wartburg College. Her major is music education.
All right, let's give everybody one more round of applause. Congratulations.